actually isn't going to be that long, because all we've got to do, and I'm really sorry about this keep blowing, but I need to have the fan. I'm going to have to stop the fan blowing this way, Mark. It's going to have to blow kind of halfway between us, I think. Thank you. Otherwise everybody's going to get seasick. Hi, Carolyn. All we've got to do tonight is put in our pages, the 3 pages that we've made. And as you can see, I did tell you I haven't finished, and I haven't. And then we've got to do the front. So all I'm going to do on the front of mine is I'm going to show you how to make this sort of photo pocket that you can just slip a photo into, and then just decorate round it. And then we're pretty much done. So well done for keeping up with me, everybody. You've done a lot better than I have. So shall we get going?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, the first thing we need to do is we're going to put the pages inside. So I want you to get your books that you've done with your spines and your what do you call these things? Hinges. And what we're going to do first, evening Rekka. What we're going to do first is we need to trim these down so that our pages sit on really nicely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mitre all of my corners. Hi, Alison. So I am going to, wrong glasses on. I am going to snip just like that. Can you see? I've just snipped the end off my my hinge, and I'm going to do that on every one. So I'm just going to snip up to where the spine meets the hinge meets the spine. And I'm just going to cut it at a little angle. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously, they're not all exactly the same sort of angle, but it's near enough. And once you've done that on the top, I need you to do that on the bottom as well. So just chop off that hinge, the bottom of that bit of hinge, right up to where it meets the spine. Okay. So now I've got mitered hinges all the way down. Now to attach our pages, personally speaking, and here's Sue. She'll back me up on this one. Hi Gwen. Hi Michelle. I work from backwards forwards. Hi Christy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my back page in first, okay? And then I'm going to put the next page in the next page. Now, I know Sue did an experiment, didn't you, Sue? To see if this was right and whether or not it is easy or whether it's a left-handed thing or whatever it is. But it turns out I was right. Who knew? Anyway, there we go. Got to be a first time for everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach our back page first. Now, as you will remember, our back page is the one that is 10 by 10. So as you know, with all of these pages, we've got this bit, we can see all the way through, essentially, because of the way that we put the page together. So what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to put some glue on both sides of that hinge, and we are going to slip our page on and attach it to our book like that. Okay, so if you haven't done hidden hinge before, you get the idea. Now, a tip. If you haven't done this before, hi Bianca. If you haven't done this before, I absolutely recommend that you leave a gap between where the spine starts, where your hinge starts, and where you actually glue your page on. So here I'm going to have about 2/8 of an inch. Okay. Mel, I'm always right, darling. We're going to have about 2/8 of an inch where between where the hinge meets the spine and where our page actually goes. About 2/8 of an inch.
A quarter.
Oh yeah. And for my next trick, I'm going to tear Tyvek. Anyway, it's too hot. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Alison, good. You'll have to give that a go. Right, so you're about 1/4 of an inch. Right. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm sure I was going to say something really important then, and I can't think what it was. So, new glue. So it'll probably go everywhere. So that I'm just going to put some glue on both sides of that spine. Probably should have done the back first. And I'm going to slip this page onto that hinge. Okay, I'm going to lie this page down to make sure that it lines up top to bottom. And I am going to just stick that down. Now, if you have it a little distance away from where your spine meets the hinge, you will find that your pages will open and close much more easily than if you were to stick this all the way down to where the spine is. You don't want to be doing that. Evening, Jill. Okay, so stuck it down on that side. Let me just make sure it's stuck on this side too. Okay, so that is now my first page in. So if you can see quite close up here, there is about 1/4 of an inch. That's about 2/8 of an inch, isn't it, dear? 2/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, there or thereabouts. Yeah, about there.
Put that in.
Yeah. Thank you for your help. And that's yeah. So that's. Can you see this all right? Have you all done this sort of hinge before? It's just what we did in the Bloom Street book, to be honest. So have you kind of got the hang of it? Right. Okay. Fantastic. Now we're going to put the next page in, and it is exactly the same process. So let's just make sure it fits. I don't know why I'm checking, because I know it does. Oh, can't find my hole.
Oh.
And then I'm going to just attach that on top like that. Okay, so once again, what I'm going to do is just pop some glue onto my hinge.
Jill's had a car reversing today.
Oh, hang on, I'll have a look in a minute. Okay, so there's some glue on the hinge on both sides. And now I'm going to slip on page 2, which, as I recall, was 7.5 inches, something like that. And I'm just going to line it up on top of that page there and just make sure that it's stuck down, leaving about 2/8 of an inch. There. Okay, so open that up and do the same there. Right, what have I missed?
Jill's had it.
No way! I hope you weren't in it, Jill. I'm assuming not. Did anybody see anything? Is your car badly damaged? Not very long ago, some woman pulled out of a side street directly onto Mark. But to be fair to her, she was... Yeah, she was brilliant though, wasn't she?
Yes,
yeah, just at the start of lockdown. Just before. Off. Yeah, wrote his car off. But to be fair to her, she, you know, admitted responsibility straight away, and the insurance company were great. They'd phoned you within 2 hours and were sorting it all out. You couldn't fault them.
Got me money in a week.
Oh, I'm glad you're all right, Jill. I hope there's not too much damage. Okay, so I've got 2 pages in now. I hope those do line up, because I'm doing this the wrong way around. I can't see. Right, so, okay, so the final page that goes in the front. Let's just check. I don't know what I'm checking. I know it fits. Yeah, that fits, and then that's going to go on there like that. So, some glue onto my hinge. And I'm going to put my final page in. Line that up. And glue that down. Just make sure that fits. Okay, let's close that up and see. Yep, that seems to work quite well. And those are my pages put into my book. Sorry, I'm just reading what Jill's saying. It's always useful to have friends like that. Wow. Still scary though. I'm glad you're all right. Not something you need to have to sort out though, really, is it? Okay, so those are the 3 pages now in my book. So what I need to do now is just decorate up the front cover. So what I did here was I made a little sort of like photo frame that will fit a 6x4 photo in there. So that's what I am going to do. So I'm going to start off by cutting out a piece of chipboard, because I don't know if you can see that, but this isn't stuck directly onto the onto the cover. It's actually hired up a little bit, which is nice because it means that we can, you know, like raised, that's the word. I'll tell you, I'm too hot. We can pop little bits underneath it when we're decorating it, so that's always a good thing. So let me just grab some chipboard. Got some here because I found it earlier, and some acetate, and I'm also going to want a piece of black card, which I've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of chipboard, and I am going to cut it slightly bigger than 6x4. Okay, so let's cut it, hang on, let's say 7x5. So I'm just going to measure that first. I did have my knife earlier. Oh, here it is. Look, I'm not using my safety ruler. Even I'm scared. Okay, so 7x5. Okay, and what I want to do now is I want to cover the back of this. So you see where I've got that design paper there. I'm going to cut a piece that is 7x5. Now here's my paper that I had earlier. What have I got left? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this 7x5 just to fit onto the top. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to cut out the piece to go on top of this, which I am going to cut at 7 1/8 by 5 1/8, and I'm just going to put that to one side. I'm going to cut my Tyvek, not Tyvek.
Acetate.
Thank you. Oh God, I don't know whether it's heat, lack of tea, lack of food. I don't know. I'm cutting my acetate. I'm going to cut that at 7x5. That's not 7 by 5, is it? That's 5 by 5. Should we start tonight's class again? Let's cut a piece of acetate at 7 by 5. Okay, and then while I'm here, I might as well just cut a piece for my frame. I'll cut that 7 by 5 as well. And then that's all the cutting out done. So what I've done is I have cut a piece of card to match my book, plain cardstock, at 7 1/8 by 5 1/8. I have cut 2 pieces of patterned paper at 7 by 5. Why do they look different sizes? Oh, and I've cut a piece of acetate at 7 by 5. So what I need to do is, first of all, I'm going to attach the backing piece of paper to my piece of chipboard, which we also cut at 7 by 5. And I'm going to actually add that on with some double-sided tape, which I put safe earlier. Somewhere. Okay, this doesn't have to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination because it's just forming a backing. This will actually all be covered anyway when we put a photo in it. So it doesn't matter if it's not perfect or if it's some piece of paper that you're not that fond of. Oh, losing my glasses. So let me attach that there.
Can I ask why tape and not glue?
I don't know. I just like tape when I put it onto chipboard, only simply because the chipboard has a tendency to really suck it up. And we can prime it by painting it, but who's got time for that, quite frankly? So yeah, that's really the reason why. It's not a great reason, but that's the reason. Right, so we have got our piece of plain cardstock, and what we're going to do is we're going to make that into a frame. So I'm going to work on the back of this for a minute, and I'm going to draw a frame and then cut out a frame that is 3/4 of an inch wide all the way round. Okay. Okay, so what you can see there, I hope, is that I've drawn a frame of 3/4 of an inch all the way around my piece of cardstock. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my ruler and my knife and I'm going to cut that middle piece out. Is there a delay on this in case there's an accident so you can quickly switch it off?
No, it's too late.
Oh, okay. I'll bear that in mind.
I'm watching closely.
Every so often I feel we have to rebel.
It's come up to 65.
Has it? 65. Oh, goodness me. Right. I'm just going to check that. Yep. I haven't cut that at all straight. What's going on with this?
It looks rhombus.
It's not even straight, is it?
No.
I'm going to cut that again. Right. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. No idea what was going on there. Okay, so this is my design paper that I'm going to use for the frame of my book. So now I need to draw a frame on the back of that and cut it out. And the size of the frame to fit on here nicely that I need to cut is a frame of 5/8 of an inch. So if I measure 5/8 of an inch as a frame all the way round, and then cut out that centerpiece, in theory, oh God, in theory it should fit perfectly. Does this sound like it's going to work, Mark?
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh God.
You said.
I'm going to blame you if it's not right.
You said.
Okay, so I'm going to cut out my frame. Fingers crossed. Only not while you're cutting with a knife, because then you won't hold it properly.
Measure it before you put it out. See what the arms.
Hey? That's not going to help. Oh, it is, isn't it? No, it's not.
It is.
I won't see. I won't see because I won't see. You're not making any sense.
With all the glasses you've got, and you won't see.
No.
Just measure the internal frame size and compare it to the other one.
Well, I did that before.
Oh, okay. Well, fingers crossed.
Well, no, not while I'm cutting.
Oh. Take a look up instead.
Right. Let's see if that's what. That's not even straight. What is going on tonight? Right, in theory, oh gosh, that should fit. Oh yes, yes, no, it's near enough. I can bodge the bits that it's fine. It'll do. Right. So what I'm going to do is just ink the edge of that, because I've inked all of the edges inside my book. If it doesn't line up, stick a sticker on top. Nothing's lining up tonight.
The planet's right.
I don't know. Oh.
That one lottery numbers around.
Lottery numbers would be great, wouldn't it? Okay, and I'm going to glue that on to my frame.
Sticky, sticky.
And then I'm going to stick it on and make it look like it vaguely fits. Make it vaguely straight.
It's a janky
Right. Okay, So when we've done that, what we need to do is put this piece of acetate on the front, on back even. Don't put it on the front, put it on the back. So I like to use super strong double-sided tape for this. So this is your red tape. I haven't got any red tape, so I'm using polyester tape, which I had earlier and I've now lost. I did have it earlier. I put it in here so I wouldn't lose it. Oh, here it is. Covered in cat hair, that's where I know. And I'm just going to pop that around the edge, the inside edge of that frame. Like that. Peel that off. Remember to take all the cat hair off your acetate and lie that down on the back of your frame like that. And make sure it's stuck down really well. If you need to trim any off because you've got a bit of an excess on one side, then do that. Okay, so there's our frame with the acetate front, which now we've got to attach to that there. Now, if you want to slip a picture in, you've got to remember to leave one side open. Actually, I should have cut that down a bit. It would have been easier if I'd cut that a bit smaller. I'm just going to cut some of this acetate off because it's going to be easier if we glue this bit, and glue won't stick to the acetate. I'm just going to cut that down on 3 sides. I should have thought of that. Okay, so now what I've got is a bit of card actually just showing around the edge, and that is where I'm going to put my glue, but only on 3 sides. Very important. Ooh. Okay, tonight is a case of do as I say, don't do as I do, because I'm making a right pig's ear of this. And then we're going to stick that down on top of that frame like that. Okay, so now I've got a space where I can put my photo, and that will go in there. All right, so what I need to do now is just attach it to the front of my book. So this time I'm going to use a little bit of tape and a little bit of glue. Because I don't think that tape on its own is going to hold this. And just remember, when you're putting it down on your book, make sure your book is the right way up, and make sure that the opening for your photo on this mat is the right way up. Otherwise, it'll be upside down. Okay, so my opening's there, so I'm going to pop that there, I think. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get that stuck down. So make sure that's straight-ish. So now I can decorate up around. I could put, I don't know, all sorts of things. I've got some of these die cuts. Ooh, that's nice. That I can add up, I can put in and just, you know, hide the bits that I've done wrong. And just, yeah, just decorate it up until I'm happy. So the only other thing that I wanted to mention was obviously inside the book, the one thing that we haven't talked about is if you want to make any extra photo mats to go in between these bits here, because obviously we've still got the opening there on each of our pages. It's entirely up to you. I didn't put them in the original book, but you could put them in there if you wanted to, if you need some extra space for your photos. So that is it. The book is complete. Now it's all the good stuff. It's all the decorating. Finishing off your, what do you call it? Your photo mats, decorating inside, adding bits in, and just finishing it off and making it look pretty. So there you go. I actually really like this book. I think out of all the books I've ever made, this is in my top 3. I don't know why. I just really like it. So I hope you've enjoyed making it as much as I have. Please, please, please post your books in the group, because I just absolutely love seeing them when you finish them. And I think that is about it. That was a super... God, half an hour again. Half an hour. We did half an hour last night as well. I can't believe how quick these classes are going. So thank you very, very much for joining us. Put your pictures in the group when your books are completed. And we'll see you all really, really soon. Thanks ever so much.
Ooh.
Bye.